Thanks for joining us.
Talkline Network Radio, America's longest-running Jewish broadcast network, the voice of the Jewish community.
Welcome to the podcast. You are now tuned in to this episode of our podcast. Today, we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. And now, please welcome your host.
You're listening to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast on the air since 1981.
Welcome back. We have our election special. Election day is tomorrow, and everybody has to go vote. People are energized, but there's still plenty of people who are not going out to vote, so please do so. We're looking at the 45th district in Brooklyn, the New York City Council district, and our guest is, again, Joshua Elijah Diaz. He's 23 years old, the youngest person running for city council. They say that Mamdani is young. He's even younger, but he has better experience than Mamdani has. A lot of energy bringing to the 45th district, which includes Midwood, Ditmas Park, Kensington, East Flatbush, Flatlands, Canarsie, Marine Park, and also joining us, Adina Sash, a.k.a. Flatbush Girl. People know her from our program for so many years. She's been an activist for Agunot, now defending against anti-Semitism with the rise of Mamdani, and she's working for a local political election council member. Well, he wants to be council, but he's council candidate Elijah Diaz, a Republican conservative who's looking to reach out to the Jewish community and work with them protecting yeshivas and institutions. Both of you, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us again.
Hey, Zev. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Zev.
So let me turn to you, Elijah. What is happening? What do you see on the streets? Because early voting has ended. Now this is the last chance. From what I've been told, and maybe you know better than I, is that for some reason Democrats tend to vote more in early voting and Republicans like to wait to the last minute. I feel like they're almost like Jewish, waiting to the last minute. But is that the case? That's what I'm seeing. Some of the numbers, Republicans like to wait to the last minute. So this is your last opportunity to gather the troops.
Yeah, Zev, it's going better than we expected. This is a lot of voters' first time in this district. I've been able to galvanize new voters. There's a lot of people that are registering to vote, from different parties, and they're excited. They're coming out to vote for us, Zev. So I'm super, super excited to see the results tomorrow.
So what have you been doing so far? You have a lot of energy. You've been knocking on doors, going to train stations.
Yep, making calls, knocking on doors, calling my people, getting them ready to go, and they are super excited, taking pictures, sending it to me. It's been a beautiful experience so far.
Let me turn to Flatbush Girl, because in addition to whatever I said, she's also your social media campaign manager and Jewish community liaison. So how's it going from the Jewish end? Last minute.
Listen, it's not a surprise to see that some of our standard, voices are just, going with endorsing the people that, they're connected with, they're already friends with, they already are familiar with. I would just say that for Jewish voters who are listening and who are watching, think with your own head, use your own bina, use your own das, your own ratzon, and consider sometimes our own community leaders lead us astray, and use your own mind when you think about voting. I myself, I always vote Democrat, and this election cycle has just, really struck a nerve with me with what's going on with all of the anti-Semitism and anti-Jewish rhetoric. And we had even a press conference in front of the federal courthouse on Friday, and Elijah saw firsthand even the hate that was coming from one of the people who came, who pretended they were coming to show support, but was really calling a bunch of Jewish people by slurs that start with the letter K. And it was really scary. And I think Elijah saw firsthand how Jews feel very insecure and afraid. And with that climate, I would just encourage all listeners, use your own mind when you are voting. You don't have to listen to, something that you read in the FJJ. Sorry, Flatbush Jewish Journal.
But you have a long beef, because I believe that's how you got to be Flatbush Girl, because they wouldn't let print a picture of you. Wasn't that your start?
That was one of my starts. Yeah.
So you and the FJJ, Flatbush, you're trying to
I
go back
have
a long
beef
time.
with the FJG. I'm sorry, Morty Melman and all the Melman guys. And this is, of course, my own thoughts. These thoughts do not reflect those of the candidate or the campaign or Zev Brenner. But I will say, and if anyone is listening who reads FJJ and knows Morty Melman and his cronies, the fact that they have the nerve to have a policy that women's faces are considered erotic and they will not publish women's faces when women are people who are creating the newspaper, organizing the newspaper, selling for the newspaper. It is really, really scary. And that kind of gender discrimination is just despicable and not a reflection of Klal Yisrael.
But by the way, you have a lot of publications in Brooklyn. I can name you 4 or 5, maybe 10 that have the same policy. So while you had your experience with the FJJ, there are about 10 others or more that have the same policy.
Okay, well, you know what? This is an example of a campaign where we can't just follow the masses and get caught up in what everyone else is doing. And we need to think for ourselves. And it's incredible to see the amount of people that Elijah was able to register to vote, encouraged to go out and vote. He's connecting with so many young leaders. His age is as we say,
23 years old.
He's 23. His age is his biggest strength because he has endless amounts of energy and he connects with the youth. And I think that people are just sick and tired of, the machine candidates.
Oh, well, nice to see. Now, by the way, how did you end up working with Elijah? Because I know you were involved with the Gunot, freeing women who have trouble getting a Jewish divorce again. So I know you're involved in politics, but how did you get involved with Elijah of all people?
Well, I've just been keeping my ears, perked for who's going to potentially upseat the incumbent Farah Lewis. As you know, in the special election of 2019, when Jumaane Williams, left his seat for city council and became public advocate, and Tish James became, district attorney, that triggered the special election of 2019. And that was a very interesting race. There were 9 candidates in that race, and Farah Lewis won that race. And at the time, I was just really, really disappointed in my Jewish leadership that endorsed her over a candidate like myself who had displayed so much control and protection, not control, control and awareness and protection for the Jewish community. So ever since then, I've just been looking to see who is going to take on Farah Lewis and who is going to give the district the leadership that it deserves. Not just the Jewish community, but the youth, the people who are disenchanted, the people who don't even want to live in America anymore. And I just, when I see Elijah around Brooklyn College and I see him around the junction in Flatbush, I'm just as we say again in Hebrew, I just shep nachas. I'm just bursting with pride over the fact that he's really a born true leader.
And by the way, you have 2 Jewish names, Joshua, Elijah, really Jewish names. So yeah. I know you have a connection with the Jewish community. So let me ask you a practical question. I asked this of Governor Cuomo the other day. Getting away from platitudes, and you've seen the anti-Semitism. A Flatbush girl, you were there at that rally where you saw it firsthand, people calling Jews names. Jews are frightened because anti-Semitism has reached record levels. What would you do in the city council to try to stop or abate this anti-Semitism?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's addressing the issue. This issue of anti-Semitism has been used for political theater too much. And when people's lives are at stake, and it truly is, it gets to that point sometimes. When people's lives are at stake, political theater is gone and out the window. We can't continue to pretend this is not an issue. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. This is seriously something that we need to talk about, especially in city council chambers.
No, absolutely, and unfortunately, you have some anti-Semites in the city council too. I mean, you have to do battle with them as well. So what is your campaign strategy? Again, polls are opening up in a short while. It's going to be an exciting election. Mm-hmm. Are you working getting people to the polls? Are you having phone banks? What are you doing in the last minute?
We're going on a social media surge where Adina Sash has been doing a great job on this campaign the entire way through. We're at 150,000 new viewership, new views on social media, across Instagram, X, Facebook, and people are really catching on to what we're doing in this campaign. It's very hyper local, it's very grassroots, and it's really resonating with a lot of people.
And we have the trucks, the Zev, as I promised, my signature LED trucks, which it's really so amazing to see. Like, you see kids getting excited, you see older people getting excited, just like to see this moving billboard that goes into not just the optics and aesthetics of the campaign, but to have audio where you hear Joshua Elijah's voice really trying to connect with voters. I just think that, you know, LED trucks are an incredible way to get people mobilized and off the couch and into the polls. And I did my early voting yesterday, and it was so amazing to see. By the way, the machine that I put my ballot in said that it had taken over 12,000 ballots, and there were 4 other machines, and the poll workers said that there was approximately 12,000 in all those machines. That's a crazy amount in just one little poll site in the middle of Brooklyn. To have by early voting. I can only imagine what tomorrow is going to be like.
Can imagine too. Our guest, Joshua Elijah Diaz. He's running for city council. He's 23 years old, raised by a single mother. He had diabetes, but he didn't let that stop him. He got involved in business, and now he wants to make a difference. He's running as a Republican conservative candidate in the 45th New York City Council District, which includes Midwood, Ditmas Park, Kensington, East Flatbush, Flatlands, Canarsie, Green Park. Flatbush girl, real name is Dina Sash, is with us as well. She is known for fighting for Gunot, but she's a social media campaign manager and Jewish community liaison for the Diaz campaign. And it's winding up the final minutes. Are you having a big victory celebration tomorrow? Do you have anything planned? What's on deck after the polls close at 9 o'clock?
You know, this campaign is personal to me, Zev, so I'm going to be celebrating wherever there's a celebration. If you go around any neighborhood in my district and people are going to be celebrating tomorrow, win or lose. It's been a great campaign. It's been a people-driven campaign, and everybody is extremely proud of it. So I'm really just humbled by all the support that we've received. You know, and people are calling me nonstop. Hey, are you coming to my party? We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate. So I think it's gonna be a separate campaign, just on a celebration note, where people are embracing that someone that they know is on TV and running for politics.
Now, what's very interesting is you started out pretty late. Most people start out months, sometimes even years ahead to get into office. You literally started just very, very recently, so you've really come like a last minute. So I think a lot of people are learning about you at the last minute, but that's, in a way, that's good, because this way you take the area by storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've tried to silence us, Zev. I mean,
what do you mean by silence? In what way?
The political machine. It's the same thing. They try to silence anybody that goes up against it, and people recognize that throughout this whole campaign. So, you know, if people are just finding out about me, it's you know, it's a testament to the same old machine politics, and that's exactly what we're going up against. We're taking a stand as a community.
Yeah, Zev, they have, like, you know, sometimes the machine will use certain intimidation tactics to
Like
make,
which machine? The Democratic machine?
just whoever's currently in a seat, and the people who keep that machine lubricated well. You know, it works similarly to abuse, by the way. People ask me all the time, like, oh, just go after the get refuser. And I'm like, sometimes the get refuser is just a puppet for systemic abuse that is very hard to track and pinpoint. And it's deliberately a house of cards, and this, like, it's deliberately this hole of mirrors, because that's how people keep their hands clean and the targets off their back. But when you're in it and you're in a campaign, and it really reminds me of some of the intimidation tactics that I experienced when I was running in 2019, you know, just starting up with donors, going through donor lists and trying to ask them, why did you donate? And, you know, what was your motivation for donating? And it can make people very nervous, like as though they have to be defensive over their support for a new candidate, for a young candidate. And, but we are not going to let that stop us. It's the same concept as when, a political candidate gets their signatures on the petition challenged, or just different challenges that they try to push the lever on to make you waste a lot of energy, fuel, and fundraised money on putting out distraction fires. So I definitely want to say that, Elijah and his campaign manager and everyone on the team has really been so composed and really cool under fire, and not letting any of the psychological tactics get to them, and really also just them focusing completely on the unity. If you saw Zev today on social media, there was an incredible post with a mother and a daughter from the BIPOC community, and Elijah was really connecting with them and listening to them and hearing their personal stories of struggle. And I think Elijah, is making an amazing Kiddush Hashem and really just standing up for all voices and all minorities. And it's beautiful.
Have you learned some Hebrew or Yiddish, Elijah, during the course of the campaign with Flatbush Girl?
Yeah. She's teaching me for sure.
Now, she mentioned fundraising. Now, I know when you run for office, while ideally it'd be nice just to focus on the issues and crime and quality of life and affordability, but one of the major things of running for office is fundraising. So tell us about that aspect. I understand you did pretty well early on, which is amazing. Tell us about it.
Well, actually, we were late bloomers on that end. It came down to the end, and we got support from all three avenues. Those who are going for Cuomo, those who are going for Sliwa, even those who are going for Mamdani. And it's a testament to the message that we've portrayed throughout the entire campaign. So it's really truly diverse in the support that we've gotten, and I'm grateful for everybody who donated to the campaign, everybody who supported, who's shared our social media posts, and yeah, we actually ended up doubling my opponent.
That's amazing. Over what period of time? Because you started late, as you said.
It was about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, Ev.
Have you ever done fundraising before? I know you started into business. Have you ever done this kind of activity?
Not to this extent, Zev, but I had the absolute sharks come out with me, support me, and all I needed was that boost. First time political running, 23 years old. No political science degree, no law degree. Doing this for the first time, it took a community push to get this done. So I can't take any of the credit, Zev. Really, I can't. It was all my community. It was all my team, and I'm just grateful to have been benefiting, on the campaign side.
You can teach other candidates how to do it, because in 2 weeks to this kind of money and to raise it from all different kinds of people is amazing. Now, let me ask you this question, because New York and Brooklyn's a little better than Manhattan, where in Manhattan, the Republican to win is tough. In Brooklyn, it's a little bit easier. You have some Republican candidates that have made it. Have you found that people have given you a hard time saying because you're a Republican, they'd like you, but they can't pull the lever for a Republican? Have you heard that in the campaign trail?
That's actually the number one issue we had. There's a lot of people that said, hey, look, Elijah, you're the best candidate. We agree with you. We like you. We think you're a great guy, but we can't vote for a Republican. And my pushback to them was, hey, listen, I'm a bipartisan candidate. I'm not here to talk only Republican rhetoric to you, and I'm not here to demonize you if you're a Democrat. I'm here because I truly care about my community. I truly care about this district, and I am the person that is going to fight when we get to City Hall.
Would it make a difference to them if you said vote for me on the conservative line?
I don't think it would make a difference. Listen, at this point, I would just say, hey, write me in. If you want to protest all party lines, just write me in, Zev, because it's a matter of voting for myself.
It's a shame that people get hung up on labels and don't go for the quality person. They say, well, you have this label. As much as I like you, I can't vote for you. It's not really sensical, but I know, unfortunately, it's the case, and you've experienced on the campaign trail. Adina, how do you deal with that?
The concept of just holding your nose and really just focusing on the qualitative aspects of what the person in leadership can offer for your own neighborhood. You know, when I think about my local shuls, my local yeshivas, and I think about a candidate who understands even what like a protest means, you know, to protect our civic rights and to protect our freedom of speech. I've had situations where I've led protests in front of get refusers' homes within the 45th district, had some sort of, you know, interaction with NYPD. Of course, they're always professional, they're always helpful, but sometimes their hands are tied. And if I don't have the name of a local city council member who is backing me up for being there, it can be very challenging. Sometimes it's not just about policies and processes and the rules. Sometimes it's about who you know and the person you know, understanding the nuances of what a certain religious community goes through to defend its people and to live life practicing freely and using their civic liberties. So, you know, I just really hope that, you know, Elijah is elected, because I will be calling you, Elijah, when I need to go protest in front of a get refuser's house, and I need a few more minutes out there and need you to coordinate with NYPD. So I really hope that you are elected. I think you're the best person for the job.
You got it, Flatbush girl. You got it.
Josh Elijah Diaz running in the 45th City Council District in Brooklyn. Adina Sash, aka Flatbush Girl, who's the social media campaign manager and Jewish community liaison. Thank you for being here with us.
Vote Elijah Diaz.
Good luck. Everybody has to vote. Vote. Everybody has to take the Chai pledge. Get 18 people to vote at least. Very, very important. Don't wait till Wednesday. Got to do it by tomorrow. Thank you for joining us.
Diaz. Thank you, Zev.
Thank you for tuning in to
Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast, the pulse beat of the Jewish community.
For continuous Jewish programs, TalklineNetwork.com, or our 24-hour-a-day listen line at 641-741-0389. For past shows, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, and all major podcast platforms, or jewishpodcast.org. Thanks for listening to the TalklineNetwork.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and
Thank you. It was great.
Good. Great job. It's on.